What do you do when people ask a lot from you? If someone says, jump, do you ask, how high? Today on rLounge, we hear from two OPs who managed to keep both feet on the ground. Up first, a bride with a demanding taste. Am I the a-hole for not designing my cousin's wedding dress even though I've designed everyone else's? Longtime lurker, first-time poster, and sorry for mistakes, English is not my native tongue. So I, 29 female, have designed all the wedding dresses for my cousins, siblings, and aunts for the past decade. When my eldest sister, 35 female, got engaged at 24, she asked me to design her dress since I'm passionate about design and she always loved my style. Her dress was a knockout. Everyone loved it, and ever since, whenever one of our relatives announces their engagement, they ask if I can design their dress for them. I've always said yes because I absolutely love doing it. It's just so much fun. On to the issue. My cousin, 23 female, is getting married next February and called me up to see when we could meet so she could share her ideas for her dress and I can start designing it. I do not like this cousin at all. Her parents spoiled her beyond rotten. I decided to still meet with her though and see if anything has changed since she's now an adult. She immediately shows me some photos of wedding dresses by Sarah Burton and tells me she wants something exactly like the pictures. I try to suggest a change in neckline or color and she shuts it down and tells me she wants exactly that. I told her I would not be making her dress as I love designing clothes that embody their wearer and suit them, not rip off others' designers so she can look fancy in a knockoff. Some of my family and especially her and her parents are beyond upset and have been blowing up my phone because I've broken tradition in my baby cousin's heart because she's been looking forward to having me make her wedding dress for years now. I feel kind of bad, but at the same time she's taking the fun and bonding out of designing a wedding dress. Let's see what the community has to say. Do I want to know 6417 says, if your cousin wants a specific dress, she should just buy that specific dress. The tradition was for you to design the dresses and sharing these moments of creation with your family members. Of course, her and her parents are upset. The sort of dress she wants costs a lot of money. Having you do it is much cheaper. I think it's time you broke with the tradition, not the a-hole. Bamf 1701 says, not the a-hole. She's not asking you to design a dress. She's asking you to help her save a buck on a designer dress. Besides, you can say no for any reason you want. Your family is not entitled to your efforts. Kronk Lasorda says, I love designing clothes that embody their wearer and suit them, not rip off other designers, so she can look in a fancy knockoff. Exactly right. Not the a-hole. These are gifts you are giving, not demands you are capitulating. Cousin and her parents can kick rocks. I don't think you're the a-hole here, OP. I think there's a lot of truth in these comments as well. If your cousin wanted a specific dress, she should go get that specific dress from the designer. You would be doing this as a favor to her. You don't have to commit to anything if you don't feel it's the right thing to do. You have every right to say no. It's fair that you don't want to rip off another designer and instead want to create something unique for each bride. Update 2 weeks later. So the good news is, I managed to set most of my family straight on what happened, and they apologized, and a few aunts even sent me chocolate and wine as a proper apology for all the stress I was dealing with. I did decide to meet with the cousin again just to see if she had changed her mind, and if not, I decided to record the conversation to send to a few of the people who could believe my cousin would lie to them. As expected, she was still insisting that I copy the other dress design. I still refused and told her if she wasn't going to budge on this, then I'm leaving. As I started grabbing my stuff, she said fine and asked if I would let her have my dress. I was stunned. She started going off that it's her big day and she deserves to look like a princess, and if she can't have the Sarah Burton dress, then the least I could do was let her use my dress since it was never used and just sits in my closet collecting dust. I left and went home to relax and honestly cry after what just happened. As expected, a few members of the family texted me again, upset that I won't let her use my dress. For background, I was engaged back in 2018 but called the wedding off in 2019 for personal reasons I will not discuss. I designed the dress myself and sewed it, but my grandmother added all the little details on it. I'm talking Indian style wire threading, rhinestone, everything. I couldn't bring myself to get rid of the dress, but I also knew I'd never feel comfortable wearing it again after the engagement ended. My grandma sadly passed away shortly after due to COVID. I did end up gifting the dress to my friend for Christmas. We supported each other during our dark times, and she finally remarried earlier this year, so she wore the dress to her reception. Back to the actual story. My cousin apparently told our family that I was being unfair and that since I didn't feel like designing a dress for her, she asked if she could use mine just for the ceremony, so it would feel like she had grandma there with her, and I told her no. I sent the recording I had to everyone who texted me, and they were shocked. Most apologized, but a few who I've decided to block still thought I should let her have it since I would never wear the dress. When they found out that I gifted it to someone else, they were even more upset since, according to them, I clearly wasn't attached to it since I gave it away, and it would have meant more to the cousin than to my friend who didn't even know grandma. Like most people suggested, I did go no contact with cousin after this. The community has some more judgment. Fit or Fat 1999 says, still not the a-hole. Spoiler, cousin's marriage won't last. For the long haul 731 says, not the a-hole. Your cousin is entitled beyond belief. Stick with your principles. You shouldn't be bullied by your family into stealing a design, nor do you owe your bratty cousin the dress you made with your grandmother. It sounds like you won't be really missing anything if you go no contact with your cousin and the aunts who still think you should give in to her demands. Again, it's your business to do what you will with your stuff and your time. That includes your dress. You gave the dress to your friend because she meant a lot to you and supported you through dark times, which is a heck of a lot more than what your cousin did for you. Your dress went to the better person. It sounds like it was best to go no contact with your cousin, as she was just creating problems for you. Moreover, it seems a bit absurd for people to just expect you to make dresses for them. It's a lot of work to ask someone to do. What do you think? Next up, a friend who can't stand being second best. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my friend's boyfriend's party after she demanded to approve my outfit? My 29 female friend Kate, 28, has a boyfriend, Jamie, 29, whom she has been with for nearly 3 years. We met Jamie on a night out, and I would say that although he's Kate's boyfriend, I consider him a friend. We share an interest in a particular sport that we text about sometimes, and if I have a spare hospitality ticket to one of the sporting fixtures, I will sometimes invite Jamie to go. Jamie's 30th is coming up, and Jamie and Kate planned a big party, and I peripherally helped out with logistics when asked. A few days ago, Kate texted me. She asked if I wouldn't mind toning down my look for the party, and if I could send her a picture of what I was planning to wear. I asked her what this meant, and after asking several times if she really had to say it, she asked if I could dress verbatim, basically what I would consider frumpy, because she really didn't want to be outshone at her own boyfriend's birthday party. When I didn't reply right away, she went on to say that she wanted Jamie's full attention that night, which she wouldn't get if I showed up dressed properly. I was a bit annoyed by what she was implying, so I said if I was going to be so much of a concern for her, I'd rather just politely decline the invitation. Kate freaked out, saying I was being immature by not coming just because I couldn't steal the spotlight. I said it wasn't about that. It was about her making me responsible for whether or not I draw her boyfriend's attention, which is something I've never tried to do, nor done as far as I'm aware. She then said it was really important to Jamie that she stand out because his friends and colleagues would be there. I just told her that again, if she was so worried I was going to be distracting to everyone, I'd rather not come than feel humiliated from now until the event. I said I would send her Jamie's gift and she could tell him why I wasn't coming. I guess she didn't tell him the reason because Jamie messaged me saying he knows I'm booked the night of the party, but he'd really like it if I could be there, and asked if I could reorganize so I could come. I hadn't replied, but I got a message from Kate saying she knows Jamie is trying to get me to come and please could I just put my pride aside and come to the party. I asked if she was going to ditch the outfit policing, but she said no, so I said I would not be coming. She didn't reply, but I've since received a couple of texts from mutual friends saying that while her request is ridiculous, Kate is aware of that. She's just desperate to be seen a certain way, and even if it's pathetic, I would probably feel the same way in her shoes. Other friends I've told, who don't know Kate, say I should not bow to the pressure and that she's nuts for even asking, and I don't disagree. But also I feel bad, skipping the party when it's Jamie's birthday and he asked specifically that I come. So should I be going? Let's check in for some community judgment. Livid Flan says, not the a-hole. Tell Jamie the truth. Just say, sorry, but when the choices are giving up my bodily autonomy or giving up the party, the choice is simple. Starfleet in turn says, she'd totally be within her rights to do that, but if she went for actually no, girlfriend had asked me not to come if I don't let her pre-approve my outfit, and I just felt really weird about that. Or even girlfriend and I have had a disagreement and she asked me not to come. I'll let her fill you in. Might be more likely to get a good outcome. The Radium girl wants to say, not the a-hole. A friend that demands you look bad just to make themselves look good isn't a great friend. You aren't responsible for her self-esteem. She needs to find ways to feel better about herself that doesn't involve dictating what others wear. She's too old for this middle school BS. Miss Bonnie says, not the a-hole, but wow, I had to check everyone's ages. Kate sounds exhausting to be friends with. Does she think she's going to don a low-cut floozy dress like Scarlett O'Hara at Ashley's birthday party? I find it so strange that at nearly 30, all of your friends' circle seems to have the bandwidth to care about such a non-issue. What I really think is happening is that Kate can sense Jamie probably has more than platonic feelings for you and she is spiraling. To be honest, I would probably cool it on the one-on-one time with Jamie and the texting. Is he such a good friend dealing with Katie's drama is worth it? I feel like you should not go just because someone is trying to control what you wear. She's not much of a friend if she is telling you to do such things. Sounds like she has problems of her own. If she has a problem with what you wear, why is she not having the same conversation with everyone else? She clearly feels threatened by you for whatever reason, but that's her problem, not yours. Update. First of all, thank you to everyone for the advice. Most responses were not what I was expecting and really gave me a lot to think about. As surprised as I was that so many people said to tell Jamie, I did realize it was the right thing to do. So I texted him and told him that Katie was insisting I dressed a certain way. Jamie called and explained. A couple months ago, Jamie and Katie were out with a few of his friends. These same friends that I mentioned in my comments are not fond of Kate. And everyone had a lot to drink. They were talking about how they met their significant others, and the story of Jamie and Kate meeting came up. Apparently during the telling of the story, Kate asked Jamie why he had decided to hit on her rather than me. And one of his friends joked that it was because he knew he didn't have a shot with the hot one, me. Kate asked if this was true, and Jamie, having had way too much to drink, explained in a way that made it sound kind of true. He said he did notice me that night and thought I was attractive just seeing me. He said he would never have approached me because he knew that he would never have a chance with someone like me. So in that way, his friend was right. He said that speaking to Kate was the absolute best outcome because he loves her and plans on spending the rest of his life with her. But even knowing this, Kate has taken this extremely hard, and even though she says she's over it, he's noticed changes in her behavior that seem to be related to that. He also admitted that he'd been planning to propose to Kate at the party, and that is why he'd wanted me to be there. But after hearing this on top of the way she has been handling the situation previously, he won't be doing that anymore. After speaking to Jamie, I called Kate. She admitted that she had tied a lot of her self-worth in the fact that she'd finally been picked over me, and now it felt like that wasn't true. She apologized for trying to solve her insecurities through me, but also said she wasn't sure he would be able to have me in her life as much as I had been with the way she's been feeling. As hurt as I was, I said I understood. She said she still wanted me to come to the party since I'd helped organize it, and she obviously dropped the absurd dress code, so I will be going to the party. I trust that Kate will communicate her boundaries to Jamie, but I don't plan on inviting him to any more events for this foreseeable future. I'm really sad that I probably lost a longtime friend over a drunken awkwardness of other people, but I also get that Kate can't help how she feels, and frankly, it's for the best not to be in a secret competition. So yeah, I'm hurt, but I'm going to the party. Not a satisfying update, but an honest one. Update. Going through these comments has actually brought up a couple of memories that have, in hindsight, made me a bit uncomfortable, and I actually don't think I will end up going to this party. As much as the mutual friends will have questions, and I don't know how much of the truth I will end up telling, I feel too weird right now to continue to be involved in this situation. Let's get some more reactions from the community. Syndicalist Thought says, Jamie sounds like a real piece of work with bad taste in friends, so you dodged a bullet there. That's not something you should say in front of your partner. I hope Kate gets out of this relationship before it gets any more serious and you two can mend fences. But either way, be glad he didn't think he had a shot with you and that you can just walk away from this whole drama-filled mess. Flat White Girl 93 says, this is heartbreaking for Kate. You did nothing wrong and she obviously was out of line with what she asked of you. But I can't imagine hearing your partner say that would be an easy thing to get over, especially if she's insecure. She shouldn't have asked. Edit. I'm referring specifically to the rather than OP part of her question. He shouldn't have said what he did or exposed her to his friends if they have a history of not treating her well. I'm sorry you're losing a good friend over this. I hope she takes a step back from him and you guys patch things up. Their relationship doesn't sound all that healthy. I think the comment said it best. Kate doesn't seem like much of a friend. She doesn't seem like she has a lot of self-worth or self-respect if she's still with the guy who makes her feel less than either. And for Jamie to call you and tell you to come to his birthday does seem bizarre, as if he is much more into you than his own girlfriend. I don't think you're wrong for wanting to distance yourself from the birthday and those people. There's some things Kate has to work out on her own, and I don't think you have to be a part of any of that mess. What would you have done? Would you have gone to the party? Thank you for joining us today on rLounge. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to say regarding today's content, share that with us in the comments below.